Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are continuing on the story of Anastase, the Night Elf Hunter. So let's jump straight into it. If you can remember from my last episode, we are currently completing 2 quests. The first is the Enchanted Glade, where we have to collect 6 blood feather belts, and the second is Tears of the Moon, where we have to get 1 silvery spinneret. So if you can see up ahead, there are the Harpies. I have to collect 6 of their belts. Now, Harpies resemble a cross between a night elf female and a hunting bird, as you can probably tell just by looking at them. Harpies originate from Stone Talon Mountains, but they have since spread all across Kalmador and Northrend. So how they were actually created though, no one really knows. There is a legend that claims they descended from a group of night elf females who betrayed Queen Azara and were cursed as punishment and turned into harpies. Oh, and I am level 14. So I have another point to spend. I think I'm going to put it again into natural mending. Like I said before, especially when you're on your own doing this, i.e. you're not playing with someone else, it's kind of best to get the healing up as quickly as I possibly can. Back to the Harpies though. One thing you might actually have noticed about the Harpies, or maybe you haven't like me, is that you never see any male Harpies. They are always female, or so reportedly anyway. What they believe is that the female Harpies capture males from other races. Apparently, they have a preference for night elves, humans, or orcs. And that is where baby Harpies come from. Apparently, the only race that they are actually rumoured to be anyway sort of peaceful with are the kobolds. So they actually help each other out. And they are the only ones they are, we'll say, friends with. And that is the 6 belts collected for the Harpies. And up next we are going to Lady Satra, the spider who was once beloved by a loon, but who has recently turned mad, and we need to take care of her. So I will see you up there. And here we are at Lady Satra. She is a level 13 beast, and I do feel bad actually killing her. Yet again though, there is a corruption going through Teldrassil and the entire Starton area. It's about trying to show us that this corruption is running through the place, and these once peaceful creatures of the land have been driven into madness. Harpies have descended who usually wouldn't be here. There's satyrs, if you remember Foulhoof as well, and they most certainly would not usually be here either. And we have to cull these once beloved creatures, because as they've mentioned a few times in these quests, if these creatures are tainted, like the Gnarlpine, like Lady Satra, the fear is that their offsprings, their babies, their future generations will have the same taint as well. So they are actually having to cull them to take them out of actually being able to pass that taint on. And so that this corruption cannot breed any further. So it's a case of being cruel to be kind, the balance of good and evil. And as I've said before, for the greater good of Teldrassil. So we have to do it. Their slashing talons and piercing beaks may prove a difficult match for your own abilities, Anastase, but I have faith that you will not fail in this task. And I didn't. I got it. I am impressed by what you have achieved here in so short a time, Anastase. Would that I could ask you to remain here to assist me with my duties, but I know in my heart that greater tasks lie ahead for you. We're going to get some nice pants for that, which are a nice upgrade into a green and some nice experience. Tears of the Moon. I regret the task that I have asked you to carry out, but Lady Satra is beyond help. It is our hope to offer the sacrifice of the spinnerets to Elune. With this sacrifice, Elune will bless Satra, so that she might be reborn and at peace. The forest mourns for Lady Satra, but it was something that had to be done. I hope now that she can rest in peace. Thank you, Anastase. Oh, look! Oh, there she is. I'm so sorry, Lady Satra, but I hope you can be reborn again and be at peace. I think they kind of realised that this quest was a bit mean, if you're actually paying attention to it and reading what's going on. So it's actually quite nice that they showed her spirit there. So hopefully now she can be at peace. To be in the presence of the Oracle Tree is almost to feel wisdom take form. Along with the Druids, the Oracle Tree has been carefully monitoring the growth of Teldrassil. Our observations have been disheartening, but all is not without hope. The tree is indeed recovering since its blessing, but the growth is still somewhat stunted, hindered. We suspect some portion of the corruption remains within the tree, waiting to be cleansed. We simply need to find it. And then Teldrassil, the coming dawn. There is one last moonwell that I would like you to visit. It is directly south of here, on the shores of the pool of Altarin. Be wary as you seek out the well, and keep your weapons close at hand. I sense a growing corruption from the bowers of southern Teldrassil. When you have the water, I want you to bring it to a familiar face that you will see at the pool. She wishes to battle the corruption and has asked for you personally, so we need to fill the Tourmaline vial. Shades of Caldori. In weeks past, all of those living atop Teldrassil have found their memories blurry, as if time itself seized a portion of their lives. We break from this haze to find that Fandral Staghem and many of his closest followers have disappeared without a word. But in his place, Shando Stormrage awoke from the dream and returned to his beloved Tyrande Whisperwind. And with his return came Alexstrasza and Azara to at last offer their blessing upon Teldrassil. Though a small corruption lingers, desperately longing to be cleansed, the bowels of Teldrassil itself seem changed. Growth has begun anew. None know what to expect next, but with Malfurion and Tyrande reunited, a new hope dawns on the Caldori. Hope for lasting relief from the shadows that have been cast on our people for so long. The shaded Caldori closes its eyes and fades away. So just giving us a brief overview of what has happened since. And what I think we'll do now is, let's go and find out who this familiar face is. Oh, it's Tarantula! Hello! It's good to see you again, Anastase. I see you succeeded in collecting the waters of the Moonwell on behalf of Coratras Moonrage. I hope you've learned much along the way. We actually have, Tarantula, I'll give you that. I have spoken to Coratras on my way here, and he has gifted me with the waters you've been gathering. They may prove useful sooner than we imagine. Strangely, the growing corruption we have felt is actually a good sign. Teldrassil has been burdened with this taint for a long time, and thanks to the blessing of the dragon aspects, only now it is coming to the surface in a form that we might strike against. Then, the vengeance of Elune. As Teldrassil purges itself of the corruption that has prevented its growth for all of these years, a malevolent growth is formed near the tree's edge south of here. We have an opportunity to strike out and purge the source of the fell moss that has tainted the gnarlpine, the timberlings, and everything else. With the waters that you have collected from the moonwells, and the renewed strength of Teldrassil herself, I can grant you great power for a short while. Put an end to this corruption, Anastase. So, we are using the powers granted to us by Tarantula. We're going to fight our way to the heart of the corruption, and we are going to destroy it. And this is leading us to the end quests of the entire zone. So we are finishing what we started. When we came here, we saw there was a corruption going on. They didn't know what it was. They've since found out, and we are finally going to tackle it. And here is the source of the corruption himself. So with the powers I was given, this should be fairly quick and easy. He is so cool looking. It's a shame that he is actually the corruption. Yeah, and there we go. He is defeated. So let's go back and tell Tarantula the good news. Alune be praised. Everything I have encountered suggested this corruption to be buried deep within Teldrassil itself. I had worried we might never be able to strike at the source without killing the World Tree. I am thankful I was wrong. Malfurion was the start to this great turn of fortune. Perhaps I will seek him out before I depart for the wilds again. Thank you, Anastase. Thank you for everything you've done. You are sure to be a great hero someday. Thank you. And I'm going to pick the gloves because my old ones are white. Then the waters of Teldrassil. Our tasks are done here for now. This water proved to be of great importance, but it wasn't originally meant for me. Go ahead and bring it back to Coritas at the crossroads. I'm sure he'd like you to deliver it to its original destination. It is good to see you again. I sense that Tarantula's task went smoothly with you by her side. Thank you for returning to me so swiftly. I have one last task to ask of you. Shall we? I'm going to pick the bow as well, and that's a really nice increase too. Home of the Caldori. It has been an undeniable honour to have met you. You are a testament to the nobility of your race. Go now and finish this final task. Take the waters to Tyrande Whisperwind in Darnussus. So we're going to get to meet herself. And I was thinking this would be the final one to bring us to Darnussus, which we're actually close to here anyway. But there is the shimmering frond still left. And I don't like leaving things unfinished. I have a feeling this is also going to be for our buddy Denelin, so I'm going to go up and get that for him. The fronds on this plant shimmer in the forest light, giving it a twisting, pulsing aura. You believe that Denelin would want a specimen of this? I'm sure he absolutely would. Let's give him this present. Where did you get this? I haven't seen a plant like this since the sojourn I made to the Swamp of Sorrows decades ago. It's amazing that a specimen made its way to Teldrassil and has grown to such a size. Thank you, Anastase. Forgive my shortness of words, but there is a test I would like to perform on this front. And we are now level 16. So survival reduces all damage. Yet again, very much like to have something that's going to reduce damage for me. So I'm going to pick that one. So we're finally making our way into Darnussus. And this will be the final quest for the area. And you look how beautiful it is. And we have what? Oh look, it's a bear in the tree. And then an eagle on top of it as well. Yet again, all things nature, all things balanced. It is just so ethereal looking and fantasy. I love this place. It's a shame it isn't busier. And the Darnassian protectors. Look at them. They're like little ancients. They're so cute. Alright, so let's go and let's learn to ride. Don't forget to buy your mount while you're here. Well, I actually have some mounts anyway, so I won't need to buy one. But finally, that is done. And I got Giddy Up. So finally, I can move around a bit faster. And while I'm here, there is another quest up top, so I'm going to go and pick that up as well. Dahlgren calls. Dahlgren Steelpine oversees the training and coordination of hunters in the service of Stormwind. He has asked to speak to you personally as soon as you are able. Travel to Stormwind and meet with Dahlgren at the training hall in Old Town. I have no idea what he has planned, but it sounds like he has been impressed with your rapid progress. I don't remember that quest myself. I don't think I've ever done that one. But to get into the mind of maybe a new starter, this is a great way of getting them to actually go to Stormwind, the actual proper capital of the Alliance. I will be going to Stormwind anyway, as I want to turn war mode on, just to speed up my leveling, and I also like getting the PvP spells as well. So we're going to go into the Temple of the Moon, and this is like the dwelling for the Sisters of Elune, and it is the centre of the Night Elves' spiritual home. It is said that Elune herself resides in there, so it's almost like their place of worship for her, because as I said before, Elune is, the god, the deity for the Night Elves. She is also associated with the larger of Azeroth's 2 moons. So yes, they have 2 moons, which I certainly didn't know. But she is one of the few true deities. And all that means is she is actually immortal. She was there at the creation of the world, and she had protected the world for centuries afterwards. So she is all things life, all things peace, and she does not like violence at all. But here we are, so this is Tyrande, Whisperwind and Malfurion. I have always loved how she looks. How fair you, young one. Home of the Caldori. The blessed waters from our moonwells. You have borne witness to the spirits of the Caldori then. In recent times, I've come to find that the spirit offers more questions than it does answers. But such is the continuing nature of discovery that drives us in our darkest hours. I will offer you the simplest answer I can. Malfurion has returned to me, to us, but harsh times are yet upon us. Staghelm is gone, and the world is racked with pain. Malfurion has much to mend, and he will need help. I'll absolutely help him, no problem there. He's pretty cool looking as well. I just can't get over how pretty she is. Now what about you then? What do you need? Breaking waves to change. You look able and perhaps willing to help. Aubergine has finally fallen. Through many of its inhabitants departed long ago when the city first suffered the brunt of the cataclysm. Many of the more stubborn residents are yet unaccounted for, and it now appears that the city may have been overrun by water elementals. My sisters need help rescuing the survivors. Please, Hunter, use the western tree to reach Rulturin, then speak to Verspritis to secure a flight to Lordanel. Be swift. So this is just giving us the option then to go onto the mainland. Like I said before, realistically I will probably come back here to continue leveling, just so we can learn about the Night Elves further and their whole storyline, as it's all concentrated in this area. But I'm going to travel to Stormwind first. And this is so cool looking as well. This statue in the centre, this is the statue of Hydian. And she is a high priestess of the moon. So that is just why she's there. And we finally made it to Sister Quinn. How may I help you? Something from me? I wonder who sent it. An unexpected gift. This is wonderful. It's just the kind of thing I need to remind me of home while I continue my studies in the Temple of the Moon. I'll try out one of these recipes tonight. I can't wait. Would you take this short note of thanks back to Naoma? You can hire a hippogriff to take you back to Dolinar. Welcome to Dolinar, Hunter. Let me know if you need any recipes or basic cooking ingredients. It sounds like she loved it. Thank you for bringing the book to Sister Quinn, Anastase. One of these days, I intend to take her up on an invitation to visit her in Darnussus. And that is all the quests done in the area. So what I'm going to do now, we are going to head on to Stormwind. Finally. So here we are in Stormwind. Now I always pick the inn in the trade district just for my home. It's close to the bank, it's close to the auction house. I'm pretty sure it's one of the more, let's say, common ones that people pick. So here we go, and that is now my home in Stormwind. So we have finally completed the Night Elf starter zone, and we've made it to Stormwind, the capital of the Alliance. From here, we will be continuing to level Anastase further. However, I was saying in my previous videos that I'm going to now go through the other starting areas as well. So for my next video, it's going to be a new character in a new starting area. If there is a particular starting area you would like to see next, you can drop a comment below and we might just go there. We will of course be back to Anastase in the future, but I would like to learn about the other starting areas, the other races, where they come from, and the stories behind them, just like I have with her. So as always, thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, maybe give it a like. And if you would like to see more videos, I will put a playlist in the top right here of the other videos for Anastase, the Night Elf Hunter. Other than that though, I will see you in the next one. Bye!